Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, Let's Talk About Gratitude. And the idea came through because I understand that many people use the term gratitude to apply for specific things. For example, I'm grateful because of these people are in my life. I'm grateful because of what I have, or whatever the case may be. And that's wonderful, that's fine. I have nothing against that. But I'm just going to offer a different perspective, at least the way I see gratitude, and see if this resonates with you or not. To me, I am never grateful for specific things, because when I give the power to make me happy somehow, I'm grateful because I have this, or because of that person, or because of whatever. What happens if the person doesn't behave the way I want? What happens if the person is not there? What happens if the thing is not there? What happens if things don't go the way that would make me say I'm grateful, Then all of a sudden I am at the mercy of that, and I feel the opposite of whatever the case may be. Could be sadness, could be a sense of loss, whatever the case, because I have given the power to something specific. To me, I am grateful for knowing that I am, you see? And because I am, the world of phenomena has no effect on my happiness, on my peace, and for me that is the reason to be grateful. In that sense, I'm grateful whether there's money in the bank or whether there's not. I'm grateful whether there's people in my life or whether they're not. I am grateful whether the body is healthy or whether the body is not healthy. I'm grateful for whatever. I'm grateful for being, and none of the specifics can have an effect on that sense of gratitude. See? And why am I grateful if there's no money in the bank? Because I know who I am, and my source does not come from whatever is in the bank. Why am I grateful if someone is no longer in my life? Because again, I am grateful for knowing who I am, and that someone is a part of wholeness, is a part of me. Maybe physically is not with me, but at a much deeper level, energy-wise, it's me. We are one and the same. How can I be grateful if the body is not healthy, or if that happened to be the case? Because I'm grateful for knowing who I am, and by not identifying with the body, then my peace and my happiness cannot be disturbed no matter what. You see? Then I'm grateful for being, and that actually reflects in your everyday life, and that's paradoxically is what you bring forth into everything. See? So you live with an attitude of gratitude no matter what, because now I know who I am. And the movie, the whole scenario can be seen like, again, passing clouds, but I am not disturbed by any of it because I am, you see? And that is what we're always reminding ourselves here, of the nature of what I am. And you cannot help but to feel grateful when you know that, because then you experience what is referred to as the peace that passes all understanding. You see? The peace that remains in spite of the movement on the surface. Money, no money, health, no health, relationship, no relationship, people being, people gone. No matter what happens, you simply are, you see? And to me, that is that's the best way to express gratitude, you see? Because I simply am, and we live in the world with a mind that is not of it, you see? That's where these videos are pointing to. They're not pointing to keep feeding the sense of identity, because even if I am grateful for something specifically, we don't realize that what is hidden behind it is I still believe I'm a separate entity, and now I have reasons to feel happy. I have reasons to be grateful. But if those reasons are not there, then what happens to my happiness? What happens to my gratitude? See? So instead of reinforcing the belief I'm a separate entity, I simply am, and from that I amness that I am, you see, prior to any thought, like the last book that life inspired me to write, then what is left? And that is what I'm pointing to, you see, and that is not anything, it's what it is, or is everything. You see, what can we say about it? And that is a gratitude that is unshakable, you see. Thank you, God, that I know who I am. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Essence, because now I cannot be distracted by the content of the mind, because that is pure conditioning, but I am. See, I am that I am. And this is what we're pointing to always. And it's very obvious right now. Let's put it to the test. Shall we? Let's put it to the... Well, I do this in every video, but why not keep repeating it until finally you realize that is the most obvious thing, or the most obvious experience, because you are. I'm going to ask you right now, just be, because you cannot not be anyway, but it's a way of saying, don't identify with any thoughts. I didn't say the thoughts will not be there. They will be there. That's what they do. You know, clouds will be there and clouds will not be there, but the sky is not affected by any of it because it's not identified with a cloud, because there's no stories, you see. So let's go. Let's be. Just be right now. Now I'm asking you, what is your experience, or what is the experience right now when there's no identification with any thoughts? And remember, if you come with a concept, now you're identified with thoughts. A concept like, I'm at peace. No. There's no I feeling peace. There's nothing. You see? Notice the experience of just being. You may say tranquility, spacious. That is still concepts. We're not asking, I'm not looking for answers. I'm pointing to what is. You see? Because that what I'm pointing to is always, never changes, and will never change. Whether you're in a spaceship, or whether you're in another country, or whether you're in a hospital, or whether you're in a bank, whether you're having fun, whether you're not having fun, it doesn't matter what, that beingness, it's always, you see? That never changes. That is permanent. See? That's what we're pointing to. That's what you are. Now, if this beingness, which is all there is seen as such, and I'm not identified with the content of the mind, nor with the movement on the surface, pain, pleasure, whatever the case may be, that is the peace that passes all understanding. That is what you are. That cannot be disturbed by anything, and that's the reason why we're pointing in these videos, at least in this particular one, reason to be grateful. I'm grateful because I am. And then the mind come up with all sorts of things. But if I'm going through a challenging situation or whatever, well, remember, these too shall pass. But the essence, what is underneath, what is, never passes. When you identify with what never passes, all the movement on the surface cannot affect what you are. See? And that sense of gratitude is permanent. It's not temporary. Because it doesn't flow, you know, say it doesn't move with the movements, with the distractions on the surface. You are. And you're grateful for just being. I'm just grateful because I am. And when you see identify with a thought, and then the judgment comes up and the fear, whatever, you go back again and remember, wait a minute, these are thoughts that have nothing to do with who I am. You're resting in beingness all the time, and I am. And even when you're going through the valley of the shadow of death, it doesn't matter, because it's just a shadow, you see. It's nothing. You know that you're taken care of. You know that you are loved. You know that you are. And that, again, it's a reason to feel grateful always. It doesn't matter what happens on the surface. It doesn't matter what changes. You simply are. You remain as that. That is what you are. See? And now, the gratitude, it's permanent. It's unshakable. Because you are being. But if you want words that maybe you can relate to a little bit more, you are love, you are peace, you are happy, you are grateful. Well, that was the inspiration that came through me. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.